Hey, what's up, my fellow boxing brothers? Boss here. Yeah, so finally, the big fight, the heavyweight fight of the year, is just around the corner. And before I get to that, I just want to talk a little about something else. The return of Manny Pacquiao, first of all. Yeah, the tireless Pac-Man is back at the age of 46, soon to be 47, and actually taking on Mario Barios for the WBC welterweight championship. Yeah, Mario Barrios is a lot taller at 5'10", and Pacquiao is like 5'6", but on this side he's even listed at 5'5". So Barrios, 16 years younger, has a reach advantage of exactly 4 inches. Manny southpaw, and Barrios Mario is orthodox. So yeah. Barios has 2 losses to what's his name, Tank Davis, and the second one, just a second. The second one was recently, right? No, it wasn't actually. He fought, he last drew against Abel Ramos or Abel Ramos in Spanish. So yeah, he's actually been the interim champion. Oh yeah, Keith Thurman also beat him, that's right, by 1 points. Only Gervonta Tank Davis stopped him in the 11th round, of course, 21. And yeah, Pacquiao's last fight was against Yordenis Ugas way back in August 21. And so wow, almost 4 years, yeah. And he lost. He didn't look so good, of course. He did win a few rounds, but he was bullied by Ugas, definitely, and definitely lost that fight. No doubt about it. Now he's trying to come back. We know how it usually goes when these great fighters come back after several years. Doesn't go well, usually. I mean, there have been a few exceptions, like Eder Joffre, for instance, but his comeback wasn't that long, on the other hand. But yeah, just a few examples where it was successful. But I mean, Barrios is hardly a really like A-level fighter, but still, I mean, his age, his youth, and his height advantage. Actually, he's listed as 6 feet here in BoxRec. Wow. So yeah, he's got so many advantages here, and his engine, is of course superior to Pacquiao's. So yeah, I don't think Pacquiao can do it, and he will likely get stopped, even probably a corner stoppage. Yeah, something. He'll probably give it up after like 8 rounds or maybe 10 rounds. I don't know. So yeah, I don't think he should have come back, but sometimes it's too hard to resist the call of the ring. Also, actually, on the same card, which is in Vegas, we have the rematch, Fundora versus Tsu. Wow, we have waited for this for a long time. Yeah, the first fight, it was a travesty. It was a disgrace because, when you have a guy who's bleeding so much after 2 rounds from a cut, you stop it right away, and you have another rematch soon, So a rematch, that is another fight, yeah. But yeah, that was really weird. Instead of doing that, they let Tsu fight on till the end, and of course he lost. What else could he have done? He's not a Superman. So yeah. And after that, in his very next fight, he was knocked out by Murtazaliev. So he's since bounced back and scored a knockout victory. And yeah, Tim Tszyu can fight. He's inherited his father's capability, you might say. But what he hasn't really inherited from his father is obviously his chin. I mean, Kostya was only stopped twice late as a pro, twice, but very late in the fight, and that wasn't, a real knockout, either of them, especially the second time. So yeah, unfortunately, Tim hasn't inherited his chin, but he's got a lot of other qualities that he has inherited, and maybe slightly more athletic, faster than his father, even, I don't know. But he's 30 years old already, wow. So, yeah, I mean, he doesn't have too much time before, he should win this one anyway, definitely. So obviously I know why the world title is not at stake here. What's going on? Thought Fundora was the champion still. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it is, man. Was he stripped? I remember that. No, he still has the WBC, WBO. Alright. Anyway, this time, if nothing happens like the last time, of course, I think Tim is just technically superior to Sebastian, and yeah, I mean, of course, it is hard to get by Fundora's big height and reach, huge advantages there, but I mean, in the first 2 rounds, team was doing well, So, yeah, but this will probably go the distance. And we also have Usyk, the Pitbull Cruz, coming back as well against Fierro, alright. And Brandon Figueroa versus Joet Gonzalez, or Joet as they would say in America. Yeah, those are good fights. Interesting. Also, Mark Magsayo coming back, and Gary Russell Jr. Wow, seems like forever since he was really a name that was talked about a lot in the sport. But yeah, he's lost to Magsayo actually, his last fight when he lost the title after many years, quite many anyway. So yeah, he's a very capable fighter still, but his age is a little now. He's not a young guy anymore, and 37. But this guy that he's fighting, oh yeah, Marroquin. I don't know how it will go, to be honest. Also, you have Diego. Wow, this is just gonna be one hell of a weekend. Also, Diego Pacheco fighting McCambie, alright. Also, and Austin Williams, yeah, fighting some guy. And anyway, to get back to the Wembley card, yeah, man. We have also the co-main event is Lawrence Okolie versus Kevin Lerena. It is at a heavyweight though. So both guys former cruiserweights, of course, but Lerena a lot shorter. Still, he's a very strong guy. Can hit. Really good fighter, really solid, and it's just amazing to think about. He actually put Daniel Dubois down 3 times in one of his first heavyweight fights. Almost had him out in the first round. I mean, come on, how crazy would that be if he won in the first round? So he's a southpaw, also Lerena, yeah, 6'1" and 6'5", Okolie. Almost the same age, Lerena, and a year older. Yeah. Well, this will be interesting. The problem is only that, if Lerena doesn't knock out Okolie, then we don't know if he will get the decision, And I thought his fight against Justice Huni was very close. So it could have gone either way, but he didn't get it. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. Coley, I don't really rate him that high, so I can see Lorena maybe even stopping him. Who knows? Probably. All right. Finally, the main event: Usyk versus Dubois 2. Yeah, this is for like almost all the titles except WBA 1, which they ludicrously chose to give to Kubrat Pulev, and his retirement present, I guess, pre-retirement. Yeah, man, what can we expect this time? I mean, yeah, we know what happened the first fight. We know Dubois can hit. We know that he came close to knocking out Usyk. However, after that, he just pretty much folded and let Usyk dominate him and stop him. Usyk has definitely shown that he has better power than most have thought he would at heavyweight. Yeah, very impressive. Because the man knows how to punch, and sometimes when guys move up a weight and they really like rehydrate very well, they fill out well, their power can also improve. Actually, it has happened. Yeah, but once again, Usyk now kind of marked up. When they fought back then, he hadn't yet fought Fury. So after 2 hard battles with Fury, is he still the same guy when he fought Dubois the first time? Well, that's gonna be answered. That question, I don't wanna speculate. I don't wanna try to answer it myself. But what is sure is that he is 38 years old. He's a lot older than Dubois, and yeah, 23-0, 14 knockouts. And Dubois is 22-2. Of course, first loss was to what's his name, Joe Joyce, by injury, and Usyk then, of course, 23. Yeah, since then Usyk has fought Fury twice, except especially I think first fight was hard, and the middle rounds Usyk had to take some punishment there. He bounced back. He's a man of iron, of course, man of steel, and doesn't seem to slow down. Hasn't shown any signs, but now this is a new year for him, and he's fighting a more determined Daniel Dubois this time, and yeah, it's just the thing is, I mean, Usyk outboxes Dubois at any night, any time of day, even at 45 he would outbox him, I'm sure, at 50. But because Dubois is not a technical fighter, that's simply he's learned to fight, to close the ring better and all that. Definitely against Joshua, we saw that he fought a perfect fight, but Joshua is also not a really technical fighter, not much anyway. Not a boxer, but a puncher. But Usyk is a boxer that can hit, and it's really tough, and that's very that sword is very hard to beat, of course. And but Dubois came close the first time. Had that punch not been judged to be low, he would have won, of course. I don't know really if it was, but I don't want to go into that now. But yeah, well, of course, if Dubois cannot knock him out this time, then he will lose. I don't know, either by knockout or on points. So the thing is, I think that Dubois 2 years ago was a different guy. He also took a lot of flack for how he lost to Joyce, even though that was unfair, I thought. But yeah, against Usyk, the first fight, he just pretty much gave up after that thing when he couldn't get the KO. So but this time he won't. So this time it will be harder for Usyk, definitely. However, I still think Usyk wins this time, most likely also this time. And if he does, then he can say he has beaten all the greatest British heavyweights. And yeah, there's only one other who he hasn't, and he won't fight most likely, and that's Fabio Wardley. So yeah, even though I wouldn't call him great, but he is very dangerous, definitely. A puncher and a fast guy. So anyway, yeah, I favor Usyk, but this time probably on points, because Dubois will be fighting like hell. He's now also a champion, so that's also different than last time. He's had 3 straight wins, all of them against really solid and quality opponents, especially the last one. You might do argue Joshua isn't prime anymore, but still, can always be dangerous. So yeah, I mean, everything is possible. I'm not gonna say, oh, Usyk gonna own Dubois again, and just no chance for Dubois. No, there's chance. But Usyk, we've seen him under pressure before, and we've seen him, hurt, and that time he was dropped and all that, but just came back even meaner and fiercer than before. So yeah, he's got a lot to fight for too, but so does Dubois. So yeah, anyway, thank you. That was all for this time, and see you soon. Bye.